In at least two major respects, the implications of a Biden-Harris presidency are already being felt just a few days before the so-called inauguration. Of course, who knows what that inauguration is, particularly since the leftist mayor of the District of Columbia has told no one to come. And you've got over 25,000 well-armed troops in the nation's capital. What a display, what a spectacle, not just for this country, but the rest of the world. The bottom line is that Biden is not a legitimate president. I personally will never recognize him as president. Most people won't. Kamala Harris, even worse, the evil lying witch that she is, who even called Biden a racist. This is what we've got potentially in the White House. And of course, it's most likely to occur. But the two major respects of how we see where this country is going to wind up were felt over the weekend. Number one, hordes of people, masses of people from Honduras are heading for the southern border. They know that Biden and Harris is going to open the door, allow for mass illegal immigration into this country yet again. They're fighting with themselves just to be able to get here in time. It tells you where we're headed. And another significant development, if you want to call it that, is that the same woman who negotiated the Iran nuclear deal has now been put back into place. So Biden is about ready to get down on his knees to the Iranian regime yet again. These are just two indications of where the country's headed. Of course, there's a lot worse than that in store. The left is going to take total control of our lives. They already have it by and large. You can expect free reign, not just for mass immigration, but free reign for ultra-leftists to be looting, burning, and killing through cities, through neighborhoods, and even on your front lawn, as they were in Beverly Hills about 2 months ago, with T-shirts saying, "Eat the rich," turn over your house, turn over your car, turn over all your possessions. That's where we're headed. This is a socialist, communist takeover, no doubt about it. They've got the leftist media behind them, which knows no bounds, which just lies repeatedly. And then they call us liars. But this is where we are. And it's why I wrote the book, It Takes a Revolution, because the country is going to disintegrate in rapid order unless we rise up peacefully and legally and wage a second American revolution. I also wrote a column last Friday. I want you to read it because what happened at the Capitol, I call it an event, a week ago, last Wednesday, was not an aberration. It wasn't, by and large, a bunch of extremists. It wasn't a deadly attack. Yeah, people died, unfortunately, and that's sad, and we mourn that. But I think, by and large, no one really wanted to hurt anybody. This is the people's house. This is the people's capital. And it's most likely that law enforcement was siding with the protesters. They probably let them in, by and large, because you can see the way law enforcement has been treated over the years with regard to the left. Defund them, pigs in blankets, fry them like bacon, you name it. They're no friends of the left. But the bottom line is this: it was more than the election fraud, and clearly there was fraud, no matter how Mr. Trump or President Trump, as the case may be, described it. Perhaps he described it in a way that could have been described better, but there was major election fraud. And people saw that our legal system, which is as corrupt as any country in this world, let it happen. Even Trump's judges stabbed him in the back. Even his own vice president stabbed him in the back, as Brutus did to Caesar in the Roman Senate, ironically. It was because of a number of factors. It was because people saw that the government, all three branches, executive branch, controlled by the deep state of both corrupt political parties, the legislative branch of clowns, court jesters, and criminals. And we saw how they behaved with President Trump's impeachment just a few days ago. What a disgrace. These people think that they have any credibility at all with the American people. They have none. They're lowlives. They're disgusting. And the people saw it. And of course, the federal judges, who Jefferson said would become despots and tyrants because they're unelected. And he said also that we'd have to shed the blood of patriots and tyrants yet again about every 20 years, adding that, what's a few thousand dead to refresh the tree of liberty? Well, we're at that point. He didn't want violence. I don't want violence. But that's what the people see right now. They see that they have no government, that they're left stranded. And that's with the mass migration from Honduras and putting the same woman back who negotiated the nuclear deal with Iran tells you what exactly is going to happen now. I don't think Biden cares. He's 78 years old. He got his little title of being president. He'll be dead before the full ramifications of this occur. In fact, given his health, he'll probably be dead within the next 6 months. And if it doesn't happen by natural causes, somebody in the administration, a leftist, will probably give him something and he won't wake up. And then you'll have Harris with free reign for these radical leftists, someone who lies like a sieve, who cannot be trusted. Even her own party did not trust her. She couldn't even make it through the primary. So this is the story here. And it's why we need to rise up. It's why we need a third Continental Congress, which I'm going to call this May, in Philadelphia. We need to make some changes to the Constitution. We need a new government. Let me give you just a few examples of what we need to change. We need to make standing a little bit easier for people to bring lawsuits. We need judges who are elected, not appointed with political campaign contributions, perks, and bribes as we currently have. We need to take the immunity away from federal judges so they're held accountable to the people, also for prosecutors and others. We need to make political discrimination, as we've seen with the big tech social media. We need to put that under the Constitution with discrimination on sex, race, color, and creed. These are the kinds of things that we need to do. But most of all, we need a new government. This government does not represent the people. It's too endemically corrupt. We need to move the capital out of Washington, D.C. Let them commit crimes against each other. There's no magic to Washington, D.C. It was simply put there because it was between North and South. The thing's a swamp. And most of the buildings, frankly, don't look American. They look like ancient Greece, and we're not Greeks. The real American building is Independence Hall in Philadelphia. So let's squeeze the leftists out of Philadelphia and let's reoccupy peacefully and legally Independence Hall. Let's have a real Supreme Court, not a bunch of political hacks. Let's set up elections for a Congress, not these clowns, but new clowns, okay, that actually obey the rule of law. And let's have a new president. Let's nominate a new president like George Washington, as happened in the prior Continental Congresses. We can do a lot of things. And now we see that our backs are up against the wall. We see that we have no country left. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, is the famous song of Janis Joplin, written by Chris Christopherson during the Vietnam War. So what do we have to lose, ladies and gentlemen? Look around. You may think that you're secure in your house. You may want to spend time with your family. You may want all these things for your family. But if you don't take risks right now, there's going to be nothing left for your kids and grandkids, and that'll be worse. We have to take risks, just as our founding fathers did, risking our fortune, pledging our sacred honor, and risking our lives to form a free nation, because we don't have it now, and you can see the beginning of it. That's my message for today. Go out and read my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. You can get it at Amazon.com and all major booksellers. For a contribution of $50 or more, you can go on Freedom Watch's website, freedomwatchusa.org. We'll send it to you for free. And read the Declaration of Independence. These are our rights. When in the course of human events, the government, so-called government, no longer represents the people under the laws of nature and nature's God, we, the people, have a right to alter or abolish that government and to form a new government by and for the people in pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. That's a paraphrase. Thomas Jefferson was more eloquent. But you remember that you have this right. You don't have to take orders from these people. These people don't represent the American people. They're a bunch of hacks. They're a bunch of criminals, frankly. And they're people who are then stuffing money into their pockets on a daily basis, acquiring power and prestige. Forget about them. Think about yourselves. Think about your children and grandchildren. So rise up, fellow citizens. There's no time left. The fuse is lit. And Joe Biden is going to destroy this country along with Kamala Harris unless we rise up and take our country back peacefully and legally. God bless you. God bless your family. Remember, God is with us if we help ourselves. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, stay safe. Stay safe.